Looks like we're ready to go. Island Pass.
Yes, sir.
Delver for Roland.
You could even end up in Warhammer. Never know.
Yep. Trigger? Yep.
I think you're
Yes.
You can play.
Okay, it looks like a brainstorm for Roland, hoping to set up this Delver to flip into Insectile Aberration. Yeah, we saw Roland create some orc armies in a previous match on today's stream, and we know Force of Phil has some Lord of the Rings cards in the deck as well, so we're all going to watch this unfold with as Lightning Bolt revealed on top with great excitement. Harry Houdini, thank you for the resub. 11 months for Harry Houdini. Thank you, Harry Houdini, with a red gift sub badge showing off in the chat. Appreciate that.
Oh, that was the poison counter thing. Oh, okay. I have 3 poison off. I'm gonna play.
Sispo, thanks for the follow. Welcome.
Second main. Yep. I'm gonna count this deliberation in response.
Council's Deliberation in response to Dragon's Rage Channeler. New cantrip from Lord of the Rings.
Sorry. Okay, I said, you're not playing a Dreadnought and I'm watching too many.
Force pitching Council's Deliberation on Dragon's Rage Channeler. Safely around days. Brainstorm for Phil.
That's sweet. I have to look at that. It's actually really cool. Once was I'm gonna crack this to look at my. This is all their notes.
Yeah, that's fine.
Two cards back on top. Follow up with a Ponder. Not the most ideal. It looks like Phil might be looking for a land. Is that possible? This is turn. Yeah, Phil might be looking for land. I don't know. Okay, found a land of Volcanic. Let's see if Roland chops it with a Wasteland. There's Wasteland. Using a floating mana to Brainstorm for combat.
I'm gonna draw 2
Phil can't miracle much of anything at the moment. Attacking with Insectile Aberration. Another Delver. Alright, things are going well for Roland here. Looks like Phil has another land drop. Okay, so Phil has land.
flash in.
EOT Bolt.
Upkeep. No flip.
No flip of the second Delver. Would have been nice.
Land. Yep. I will plus on the samurai. Make it 3/3.
Brainstorm after attacks. Terminus revealed. Phil sighs and puts 2 cards back on top. Cracks the fetch with the miracle trigger on the stack. And it looks like Terminus is going to be cast here with a basic planes, which makes a lot of sense. Alright, the Delvers get put away for now.
Yeah.
Cards in there? I have 3 left.
Terminus was pretty huge. Around some pass.
Yep.
Ponder for Phil.
You have 3 cards as well? 3 cards. Pass.
Going turn pass.
I get any basic type. So you can get a use. Pass over here. Interesting. Response. Bolt turning you.
How about a trigger drink?
Okay. Bolt you in response to Sword, Serval, and it looks like the card was left on top.
Nah. Landon's a creature. So only back up to 21.
Players confirming that there was no delirium. Roland only gains 1 life. Instant creature land in the graveyard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wasteland on Scalding Tarn. It's a Tundra. Did Phil know the top card of the deck? I don't remember. There's a Ponder for Roland. Yeah, double bolt could end the game. Could. Ponder shuffle. One card left in Roland's hand. Now 2 after drawing off Ponder. Yeah, if Roland knew that Phil knew the top of the deck, I missed that. Just wasn't paying attention. Here's Delver for Roland. Swords on the Delver. Pass.
Did you gain the luck? Oh, not yet. I'll pass over to you.
Yep.
Go.
2 black.
Cards in there? 3.
3 back. Sorry, 2 storm.
Well, it becomes a creature on my turn. It was only a creature on the back side of the other cards. And it transforms if one of them is
Yeah, Phil has stabilized this game, is not under that much of a threat right now. And that's where you want to be if you're playing Miracles. No threats on the board.
Just draw stone nothing off the 7 cards.
Just have to be careful about Bowmasters at this point.
No, not really. I had a bluff that I did, but I had like
A brainstorming right into Bowmasters could be a big problem.
Play this.
I had you going.
I'm going to target.
Wait until the last possible second.
Brainstorm.
Okay, so Mystic Sanctuary, put Brainstorm back on top.
Pass.
And passing the turn.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to fetch.
I'll cancel. Pass 2.
Alright, Roland fetches up an Underground Sea. All Phil did was draw the Brainstorm and pass.
Sixes.
3 black mana, 1 Sure.
Yeah, so game 3 is
I'll waste the Mystic Sanctuary. Sanctuary.
Wasteland and Mystic Sanctuary. Phil has had that 90s Magic t-shirt for 20 years that you see on the left side of your screen. Thoughtseize here for Roland. Brainstorm and response.
14. Pass. Having to pitch first, that's it. Sure. 2. Yep.
Force of negation on Thoughtseize.
Yep. Yep. Go 1 of each color and
Yep.
cast
It's a full time.
Alright, Thoughtseize down. Into exile.
take a look at my graveyard and so Storm 3 prior to that is going to end up exile.
Yep. Match 3 balls, Lotus Petal, yeah. I got it.
Uh-oh. Goes down to 3. Ponder. Does Roland have a Bowmaster?
2 and 2. It should be 2 and
Yeah. You had to pay for them.
There it is. Orcish Bowmasters, but it's getting Hardcast Force in response. Phil is prepared for it.
No, no.
Oh, yeah.
These are doing stuff is pretty inspiration for paper.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, my head was just so slow.
Murktide Region, everybody. Remember this card?
Each trust. 3 mana, that's Storm 3. Yeah.
Alright, so it'll be a 7/7. 7/7 Murktide. Preordain for Phil. There is one Council's Deliberation in the graveyard. And Roland was taking a look at that.
I'm going to top bottom draw and
my life.
drop the Council Liberation.
Alright, drawing an extra card. Catch you later, Casey Gregor. Snapcaster for Phil. Targeting Swords to Plowshares. Murktide is hit. Another Preordain.
Alright, you can just tell me you're doing whatever, and I'll be like, sure.
Alright. I will roll 6-sided die.
Okay.
2. So I get 2 on 1 swoops, and they gain haste and target. I'll attack the 2.
I was not expecting you to
Go ahead. Not many people do.
Good.
Brilliant. Oh, sorry. This should also be at 7 level 2. Not that. I doubt that would impact the
Snapcaster attacking. Roland in range of winning this game with Lightning Bolt, but 3 bolts have been used so far. And Phil's building up some defenses. I see a Force of Will and a Swords, I think, in Phil's hand. So I have some ways to fight through this.
6. Let's go. First time hitting a 6. So,
It's going to take Snapcaster a long time to swing away.
abilities 2 more times this turn. So I'll activate its ability,
Both players just accumulating resources right now. Preordain.
and then I can return a card with mana value. Is it 2?
No Council's Deliberations in the yard this time again. Top, bottom. Draw.
2. So that one is make 2 squirrels and also plus 2 loyalty. So it's up to 9 loyalty.
9 turn clock, yeah.
Off this card.
That's what you want.
So I'll just use this number to represent the number of squirrels. I'll try that.
We haven't seen Triumph of St. Catherine make an appearance. Triumph of St. Catherine has, in the past, been a problem for Delver to deal with.
Then I'll minus 1.
If they can't counter it, it's quite hard to beat. Other than having a larger Murktide to block. But Phil's usually able to deal with Murktide. All right, Snuff Out, hard cast on Snapcaster. So that plan's shut down for now. Looks like Phil has a full grip. Here's Thoughtseize. I don't think it's likely this will resolve, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, so you can take back the you can take it back. It's fine. I should have also.
No, I'll keep the activation.
Okay.
So I draw 0.
You draw 0.
Okay, a hard casting force. Looks like 5 cards in hand.
I was hoping to find like Hydro Blast to blow that up.
Force of negation. Wants this Thoughtseize to get through. Brainstorm in response to Force of negation. No Bowmaster available right now.
Hypothetically, I could have had ending, but 1, this deck only runs 3 powers, and 2, this I didn't count.
3 lands open for Phil. 2 fetches and a Tundra.
I think it was maybe right because clearly I was not operating on very much.
Daze on Brainstorm. Okay, Phil pays for Daze. Then Brainstorm resolves.
Barely any cards in her hand. You were just like, balls to the wall. That's how you win.
It's true. I mean, it works. Good games. Now this, this is the first time I've actually played against this deck, but I was so close to going off there. I was like, ooh, comic.
So the Thoughtseize is on the stack. Force of Will countering it. Force of negation countering that. And now a Brainstorm resolving after Daze. The Daze has been paid for, but the Daze should be in the graveyard.
You do have to get there.
Force of Will should be in exile as well, but I think the players are missing that. Nope, Phil fixes it. Okay. So Thoughtseize resolves, Flooded Strand, Force of Will, Preordain, Prismatic Ending, Snapcaster Mage, and Swords. Bolt You ends the game. Wow, what a game. That was quite a game 1. Based on how the game looked at that point, probably most people would not, is my guess. Save Swords for Roland's threats. But maybe in hindsight, that looks like the play to protect against Bolt. The 4th Bolt of the game. Yeah, maybe. Could be right. Good to point that out. Iron City Trades, thank you for the bits. Iron City Trades, our monthly cheer leader. And now the latest cheer as well. Thank you, Iron City Trades. Thanks for the love. With a Legends badge in the chat. Very nice. Iron City Trades clean number 4 on our all-time cheer leaderboard as well. Wow. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Didn't respect finding the fourth bolt before any other threat. I don't know if I would have as well.
For another Minskaboo last turn. If I find the Minskaboo, I have you dead immediately. Yep. If you have main deck tendrils.
So, in case anybody missed it, what Phil in the chat is pointing out what could have happened last game was there was a snuff out on Snapcaster. Phil had a Swords to Plowshares. I believe Phil had mana available. And there could have been a Swords to Plowshares on Snapcaster to move Phil out of bolt range. And a couple of turns later, Bolt ended the game. So, should Phil have Swords his own Snapcaster in response to Snuff Out, is the question. 2 Council's Deliberations already in Phil's graveyard, setting up a really rewarding preordain later, maybe. You're in game 2.
All good as that.
I'll stop it. Sure. I'll stay right. Sure. I'm gonna actually, I'll do that. I'll do the brainstorm. Sure. Storm 15. That's the brainstorm. Yeah. My storm dispatch.
Swords on the Snapcaster could have countered in advance that game-ending bolt. So that likely was correct. It's hard to really say. Cosmic, thanks for the sub with Prime. Appreciate that. Cosmic Kenta with the first-time sub. Is the Thoughtseize resolving here on Roland's side? Triumph of St. Catherine making an appearance. Hydroblast, Brainstorm, and Preordain. That Preordain is going to be huge. Triumph of St. Catherine, of course, a big problem. Brainstorm can put it back on top. Brainstorm selected by Thoughtseize. I have to be honest, I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting either Preordain or Triumph. Brainstorm was selected. Here's Preordain, which will be a draw 3. Okay, Surgical is happening. Okay, so this is making some more sense. So Surgical on Council's Deliberation after draw step.
This holding priority.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting Council's Deliberation to get surgical.
This adding 4.
Rebellion, thanks for the resale with Prime. 8 months. Thank you. Did Roland also have Forked Bolt? I'm not sure. Yeah, Council's Deliberation is so good, it's getting surgical on today's stream, everybody. Al Binches, thanks for the sub with Prime. Appreciate that. Thank you. Getting some Prime subs in here. Hype Train has started. Who in the Twitch chat will become a Hype Train conductor, we will see. Which is the most coveted badge in the chat. That's the badge.
Go.
Brainstorm that we knew about was drawn for turn. Phil passes. And cast a Brainstorm now. Red Blast. Hydroblast. Red Blast. Wow, it feels like 1995, everybody. Here's Triumph of St. Catherine. That's a pretty big problem for Roland. Going to be hard to remove. Attacking for 5. This game has swung over to Phil's. All right, that's a scoop. We're going to game 3. Appreciate it. All right, Island and a Pawner for Roland. I think every for every format really there's a player in a I don't know what goes on MTGO, but at a at a local level, you'll have a player that no matter what the meta game looks like, they'll be playing Pox, they'll be playing Infect, they'll be playing Depths, whatever their deck of choices, they're going to be playing it no matter what. And when you have reps and proficiency with a deck like that, I feel you can do well at almost any event if you know what you're doing. Unless the metagame is completely destroys your deck, right? We talk a lot in Legacy and other formats about tier lists and stuff like that. I don't know where Infect fits right now on a tier list. I don't know where anything fits right now on a tier list, given that we just had a what seems to be highly relevant set just hit the format. Here's Power Blast revealed on top for Roland flipping Delver. It remains to be determined, and it's a great time to try stuff right now. If you've been thinking about a deck that is not proven, and you're kind of hoping you can tweak it and build it the way you want and experiment, now is a great time. All right, Instinct Elaboration attacking now. Swords with it in the red zone.
It's literally Uruk-hai versus. Six cards.
Hype Train complete level 2, 3 subs, 1,500 bits. Thank you, everybody. Did Goblins get any good cards in Lord of the Rings? Moria Marauder has been mentioned. Are there any other Goblins that were relevant?
I'm going to target.
If there were, I forgot. But I'm not convinced on Moria Marauder. I'm not sure about that one for Legacy Goblins. The more popular version of Goblins right now is with Food Chain, which I have not played. Snapcaster hitting the stack for Phil. Swords available. I've been playing a Vile version of Goblins over the last couple of years. And for the version that I've been playing, I'm not really sure about Moria Marauder. But for the Food Chain version, I don't know. Or turbo boxes? I don't know.
Hull Breacher is gonna.
A daze on Snapchat.
Okay.
There's also Brainstorm still on the stack. Sure.
Yep.
Surveil leaves a card on top. Interesting.
Yep.
Phil pays for days. Is there another days? If there is, you likely wait for swords to be cast, is my guess. Maybe. Or maybe not. Okay, force pitching force Surveil. Force pitching force from Phil. Okay, so this swords is happening. Dragon's Rage Channeler is exiled.
Yeah, like, what would you...
That's fine.
Attack 2. Yep. Let me cut. Yep.
Scalding Tarn getting cracked here. Flusterstorm on something. Is it Thoughtseize? Oh yeah. All right. Thoughtseize is countered by Flusterstorm.
Attack 2.
No.
Yep. Yep.
Phil getting some attacks in with Snapcaster once again.
Game 1, I thought he was on blue. I think
That was good. Pass.
I didn't see.
Felver's good. Fetching the Scalding Tar now. Haven't seen Bowmasters do much in this match so far, have we? Don't think it's really made a difference. Surgical revealed on top. A flip Delver. Does Roland want to shuffle that away? Well, swords before draw step.
In response to that,
So Roland must have passed to draw step.
this
is my guess.
I got you already. I'm gonna go to draw.
All right, so Roland wanted the surgical. Taking a look at Phil's graveyard now. There's the swords in there. Ponder, Force of Will, Council's Deliberation.
After you draw, circle. Target. Targeting the swords.
Surgical on swords after draw step. Phil does have a fetch right now.
Oh, you paid.
So Phil can fetch and put it back on top with Mystic Sanctuary, potentially. Power Blast on Snapcaster. Hydro Blast on Power Blast. 1995 action again.
Yep. 2 cards. I got 2 left.
Darkest Hour says, YouTube binge watcher, excited to watch this live for the first time. Thank you for being here. This is the real show.
This is still on the stack.
Shout out to all the binge watchers out there.
Well, this is resolved now, so now it's a trigger on the stack. Yeah, so you're targeting Fluster now. So definitely Fluster that. That's good. Yeah, that's good. Alright, I'll Fluster. So how many cards is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't pay it. Okay.
Okay, so Flusterstorm has successfully countered Surgical, leaving Swords to Plowshares safely in Phil's graveyard. Snuff out now on the old Snapcaster. Mr. Arch, thank you for the gift sub. Appreciate that. First ever gift sub for Mr. Arch. Thank you. All right, here's Bowmasters, everybody. Everybody get ready.
You good. We got time.
Get ready for the complaining. Al says, I was actually watching a VOD before I realized you were live a few minutes ago. I appreciate everybody watching us over on YouTube. I really do. Without the YouTube family, we wouldn't even be able to do the live streams anymore. That's the truth.
I'm gonna put Ponder on top. Yeah. Go ahead.
Ponder's back on top.
I had to read it.
Hype Train Conductor Cosmic says, has anyone ever tried the Kiki Snoop combo from Modern in Legacy Goblins? Yes. There are Kiki Snoop Legacy decks. I I have not tried them really myself, but there are people out there fighting the good fight for Kiki Jiki and Conspicuous Snoop. Roland was telling me Roland played in an event in Oklahoma City this past weekend and lost the match to Sticker Goblins with the new guacamole or whatever you want to call it goblin from Unfinity. Here's the Council's Deliberation hitting the stack. Triumph of St. Catherine revealed. And it will block the Orc army. Warhammer versus Lord of the Rings, everybody. That's what we wanted. That's what we asked for. Murktide. Shout out to everybody that sold their collections and quit when The Walking Dead came out. Hope they're enjoying life now. First ever Council's Deliberation into a miracle. There it is, everybody. You witness history. This will be a trivia question on 90s MTG in a few years. Here's a Murktide Regent. Oh, boy. Just one thing after another in this game, huh? I try to, like, be a mirror and reflect the misery I see from the legacy community when I'm on camera, to remind everyone how miserable they are. No, I'm just kidding. All right, Flusterstorm goes back on top, I believe. Triumph of St. Catherine attacks. And this is getting interesting here. Murktide racing Triumph of St. Catherine is interesting. It's unlikely that Roland will be able to remove this Triumph from the board. But possible. Double bolt. How does this race line? I'm trying to do the math real quickly. Roland might be in trouble. There's 2 copies of Council's Deliberation in the graveyard right now. Orcish Bowmaster is in response. That's pretty good. Can you one make an Orc army? Preordain is still in the stack. Here's Snapcaster. So Preordain on hold for now. Bowmasters is on the board. And Phil has cast a Snapcaster. Likely going to try and swords it. Red Blast on Snap. Flusterstorm that we knew about.
This Snapcaster is going to target Source Splashes. Source the big guy.
So this is yeah.
Okay, swordsing Murktide actually. Okay. Letting Bowmaster live. I didn't expect that. Let's see. Is that... Preordain resolving here. Phil will draw 2 more from Council's Deliberation. Roland will then trigger Bowmaster twice. Turn it into a 3/3 army. Yeah, I just heard time get called. So this is turn 0.
So you're going to get 3 pings. Yeah, 1 and 2 to you. Gotcha.
I think I said 2 triggers from Bowmaster, but it's actually 3. Preordain and 2 copies of Council's Deliberation are now exiled. So, wow, things got interesting here. So, the Orc army is now a 4/4. Bowmasters will continue doing its thing. It has survived for now. Triumphant Catherine has lifelink. Has already attacked this turn. Prismatic Ending on the Orc Army. Okay. That's pretty good for Phil as far as the race is concerned. So this is turn 1, I believe, of extra turns.
Not yet. No, at 2 minutes we are. Take one. Go ahead. Take the punch.
Okay, it's possible Phil and Roland have an extension here. I heard something about having 2 minutes.
That is time in the round for us.
Okay, so now it's time in the round for them. They must have had an extension for some reason.
Results.
So now they're in time. Roland is turn 0. So, okay. Let's think this through here. So Triumph of St. Catherine needs 3 attacks for Phil to win the game. This is turn 0. Turns 1, 3, and 5 would be Phil. So that's enough attacks. Bowmasters is a 1-1. And obviously cannot win by attacking all on its own. There are no orc armies on the battlefield right now. What does Roland need here? Another Murktide could be pretty good. It looks like Phil only has 1 card. All right, here's Surgical hitting the set.
Targeting.
Protection from everywhere.
Do you think there's going to be a Mind Over Matters fight?
I'll take it.
Because you just draw your deck.
Prismatic.
Prismatic Ending was the target. Phil's hand is revealed. Brainstorm and Flusterstorm.
Yeah, that's
Grizzle Brandon.
Finally, we broke Mind Over Matter.
All right, so now Prismatic Ending is being surgically extracted. Darkest Hour with a great question. What do we think about Roland boarding in the surgicals in this matchup? Roland knows that Phil likes these Mystic Sanctuary shenanigans and that Triumph of St. Catherine is a huge problem. So it makes some sense. Attacking with Bowmaster. A Delver is on the board. I've lost track at this point if Roland knows the top card of the deck and if this Delver will flip, but we'll find out together. Yeah, so Phil is potentially going to gain 15 life over the next 3 turns, so likely out of range. I think this game might be out of reach for Roland. Safe. I think it's safe to say that at this point. This is turn 2 of extra turns. Passing the turn now. This is turn 3 of extra turns. Attack with Triumph. Roland goes down to 1. This is turn 4. This is Roland's final chance. Doesn't look like Roland has any way to win. Phil does not either. I don't see how Phil can win this. Unless Phil's cards in hand are double Prismatic Ending and those have been surgical. I guess double swords could potentially be it. Preordained hitting the stack. Resolves. No council's deliberations win the yard. Bottom both. Make an orc army. Ping you. Ponder. Phil just not giving a damn about Bowmasters right now, trying to find a way to win.
Oh, that was a lot of fun.
Here.
Match with the orc army. And that is the match. It is a draw.